Office real estate is in big trouble. If you look at office real estate across the US, they are doing very poorly. In fact, so poorly that some of the biggest investors in the US are actually refusing to buy small regional banks because small regional banks have such an extensive portfolio of commercial real estate. And I'm being dead serious, guys. Commercial real estate is something that you just don't want to touch. Like if you just go on LoopNet right now, and if you look at some of these homes, and some of these apartment buildings and some of these office buildings, it's pretty bad, right? If you look at like the San Francisco office department, it is disgusting to see this kind of stuff. Many of these housing prices are dropping like rocks. Multifamily is worthless. Retail space on the first floor, nobody wants them. And whole entire office buildings are now being sold for just pennies on the dollar. And when I say 50% off to 80% off, I'm being serious here. So if you look at this article by Fortune, commercial real estate values will suffer a $480 billion wipeout next year. And that's following already a nearly $600 billion loss in 2023, research firm says. $480 billion for another year is a big deal, considering that the feds have already said that they're willing to cut rates for 2024. But don't think cutting rates will solve anything, because we're talking about offices. And who does office real estate? Well, extremely wealthy landlords. And who uses office real estate? It's going to be your everyday office worker. And when hybrid work is here to stay and remote work is here to stay, a lot of companies don't want to rent expensive offices. Offices are extremely pricey. Even Schwab, yes, the brokerage firm, has fired 2,000 employees in the real estate department and also cut back on several pieces of real estate. They are now saving $500 million a year. That's $500 million bucks. And that is a great example to be set for other people. So what's going to happen to commercial real estate? It's going to be very scary. It could be seeing one of the biggest real estate implosions in American history. Commercial real estate has always done pretty well in the US and around the world before the pandemic. But then after the pandemic, people start noticing, hold on a second, we could just work online, Zoom meetings online. It's no longer startups have to rent an office. Startups could just rent a Google online room, or startups could just use Zoom or Discord. It's like a totally different world now, and commercial real estate is so worthless. And then check out this article by Rulers. You got Muddy Waters shorting the Blackstone Mortgage Trust. That is one of the craziest things to do. But then again, though, Muddy Waters, they're going to be one of the most notorious short sellers out there. They're very infamous, they're very strong, and they love doing this job. And they're seeing that Blackstone Mortgage Trust has way too many commercial office buildings. Like so much to the point that Muddy Waters says they're going to cut dividends next year around Q2. And that's a huge deal because these mortgage trusts are supposed to be extremely stable, right? A lot of people, retirement accounts, they buy these mortgage trusts. They want juicy dividends every quarter. They want to have a bunch of money from this, REIT essentially. And when you have short sellers literally betting against this and says that the dividends will fall, it's something that you don't see every day. Okay, this is the first major short position on commercial real estate I've seen so far. And I think we could be seeing more short positions coming next year. And like I said, if you're one of the guys who think commercial real estate will go up because of interest rate cuts, think again. Even if they cut interest rates, I don't think people are coming back to the offices. Many companies are embracing at least hybrid work. And check this out. Hong Kong bankers are uneasy. They are dancing with property tycoons. Over $25 billion of loans are due next year, and are banks willing to roll them over when the real estate in the commercial sector is so shaky? Remember, Hong Kong's real estate is still extremely pricey. Like a one-bedroom apartment over there, like 300 square feet, like super tiny, will still set you back $500,000 to $1 million USD. Like Hong Kong's real estate is not cheap at all. But the commercial sector is already taking huge hits because the prime real estate in Hong Kong, their vacancies are 15 to 17%. Then again, though, it's not as bad as places like San Francisco, which vacancies are headed towards 36 to 37%. That is pretty bad. Hong Kong right now has already done several things to ease themselves. Like they reduced the stamp duty tax. So foreigners, if you want to buy a condo in Hong Kong, you only pay a 15% stamp duty instead of the 30% stamp duty. Singapore, for example, is doing a 60% stamp duty because so many people are going to Singapore right now. Hong Kong, okay, what's going on? What's going on here? $25 billion of loans are due next year. This is a humongous number, and what everyone is scared about is many of the landlords and property tycoons, they have insanely high mortgages, but they don't have enough tenants. Now, here's the thing. In places like China and Japan and Korea, remote work isn't as popular as here in the US, so they could be getting even more people back into the offices once again. And also in places like China, they don't really recognize an online degree, so a lot of students who used to go online in Hong Kong, they have to go back to school. So this could stimulate like a good property increase, but let's see what's going on here. Like with the Hong Kong and Chinese real estate recently being in a little bit of a shaky position, I wouldn't really be surprised if some of the billions of the $25 billion loan get defaulted. And here's the thing, the commercial real estate market will get even better for investors who are willing to take a long view. Absolutely not, right? There's going to be articles out there who is very optimistic on commercial real estate. And because of this, we're seeing record amounts of commercial real estate development. If you guys don't know what's going on here, development for commercial real estate is off the charts. FDIC even is like, hold on a second, guys. You're telling me there's $3 trillion of commercial real estate loans across all regions of the US. That is a humongous amount. Why are people building all these towers when most of these towers are literally empty? And I'm not being joking here. Like San Francisco is like a third to almost 40% right now being completely empty. Same thing in Houston and Dallas. A fifth of all the units and nearly a third in some areas are completely vacant. So why are they building all these commercial real estate towers? Like, it would make sense if they build residential towers, but they just like building office towers. Well, it's because they're making a big bet that these workers will return. But this is like one of the worst bets to make, because if you truly go to one of those settings in the corporate world, there is a lot of hybrid work. Companies that initially didn't do any online stuff are now embracing hybrid work. Come to the office just a few times a day, right? A few times a week, whatever it is. So commercial office space, it's not getting better. In my personal opinion, it's only going to get worse. In the future, the office has already arrived, and it's hybrid. Everyone is saying this. It's hybrid. I don't think a lot of big companies and startups want to rent humongous offices. These are insanely high expenses. I know startups in New York City who thought about getting an office space for just 3 to 4 people, now just work on Discord. They just do it on Upwork. It's just so much simpler, right? They just do a Zoom call if they need, and they just call each other, or just meet up in the cafe if they need anything physical. So it's a big deal. And that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment below, and make sure you guys check out the private Discord server, guys. Patreon link below for some amazing trades. It's a 7-day free trial. Our traders are actually making a lot of money, so definitely check us out. I mean, the most recent trade we did was like SoFi, just like today, made like 35%. It was like a really easy and quick money scalp. So definitely check us out. We're making a bunch of money. We're having a lot of fun. And look at this, DraftKings, we made a good 22%. Hunt, we made 27%. And look at this, Lululemon, pretty good one, 46%. So trade with us, guys. Make some money with us. It's a great server, and it's a free trial.